Good morning, my awesome friends and followers of Suffolk's #1 YouTube channel, coming in your ears. Anyway, yeah, it's Friday, the 5th of December. Had a lie-in this morning, actually. You know, this is probably going to go out. Well, it's going to go out after 9 by the time YouTube do their checks, and for that I apologise for those that wait. I should start getting up a little bit more earlier, but I am 50, I'm not 24 anymore. But yeah, for those who sent me messages, my son's ankle, torn ligaments, he's going to be okay though. He's off sports for about 2 weeks. Yeah, right, I'll talk about the thumbnail in a minute. There's a lot going on though, and I want to point out this, ladies and gentlemen. There's far too many people out there making up stories and clickbait just so you watch their shit, so you watch them. The more obscene the headline is and the better the thumbnail, then the more of you will go and watch it. That's the hope anyway. Sorry about the glare in my glasses. I need to get these sorted, don't I? So, yesterday I did a video and I mentioned about what was happening with Thomas Markle Sr. and Jr. And I only got that information because Thomas Markle Jr. has spoke to the Daily Mail and I got my information from there. And it's not for me or any other YouTuber out there to discuss private medical issues about other people unless it's come from them. So I want to point that out. This morning I was fortunate enough to get a call, and me and Thomas Markle Jr. had a chat. I'm not going to discuss Thomas Markle Sr.'s medical condition. It's only Thomas that should be doing that. Thomas has the power of attorney. He's the guy that should be letting people know. If you're hearing stories about Thomas Markle Sr.'s medical condition, where he is or what's happened to him, and it has not come from only Thomas himself, then it's false information and it's unverified. So please don't put videos out there and don't spread shit if you don't know what's going on, okay? Thomas Markle Jr. is under a lot of pressure these days, trying to look after his dad. But other than that, ladies and gentlemen, don't listen to rumours, okay? Just wanted to point that out. Thanks for listening for that bit. Now let's move on to the next bit. Well, ladies and gentlemen, did you notice the natural break there, did you? From what I said a minute ago and what I'm saying now, a natural break, yeah? Halfway through my video there, as I started off, I get a call from Spain, discussing a member of the extended family whose funeral's today. So we just discussed that, so I apologise for the natural break there, but there we go. Right, so we've discussed that a little bit this morning. Yeah, I was reading this morning about painkillers, actually. It's a completely different story, but a mother, a 37-year-old mother, who was waiting on a spinal injury. No, a 37-year-old mother who had a spinal injury waiting on an operation from the hospital was sitting with her partner last night. They had a bottle of wine, they had a Chinese. She took painkillers and she never woke back up. Poor woman has passed away. Wow. When the police originally, her partner gave her a kiss in the morning and went out, and when he came back, she was still lying face down in the bed, and he went over and checked. She had blood on her mouth. So when the police originally came to check it, because they seen blood on her mouth, they thought he had assaulted her, you know, which is shameful to think that, you know, it was just the way she'd been lying and what had happened. It's, yeah, anyway, yeah, poor woman. Yeah, tomorrow's not promised to anyone, is it? Tomorrow's not promised to anyone. Nigel Farage, though, he's had a bit of a, check this here out. The BBC have accused Nigel Farage, ready, listen to this here, of racism. Apparently Nigel was racist to his classmates. Now, fuck me. So Nigel says, I haven't been to school in 49 years, and you're saying I was racist to someone in school? You're clutching at straws. But let's look at 49 years ago then. So let's say I was racist. Was this the same time the BBC were putting out Alf Garnett making fun of Indians and Pakis at the time? Do you remember that word that they used on TV, which isn't used today? That's what they did back then. They also, Ain't Half Hot Mum, They also did Are You Being Served, where they sort of made fun of people from the LGBT community. So at the time they're accusing him of being racist, BBC was steeped in racism. That was when Bernard Manning was on TV. And the world was different back then, wasn't it? Wasn't the world different back then? The BBC used to exploit those times, used to exploit those attitudes. So Nigel Farage has just said, I cannot believe the BBC would even go back. He says, I can't remember what I said to a classmate 49 years ago. And if anyone is saying that I said it 49 years ago, they're probably lying. They have tried, and let's be honest with you, the media have tried like hell to bring Nigel down and paint him. He's just a guy that says what he thinks. That's all he is, in my opinion. He may come across as far left or far right to some people. To me, he comes across as a guy I would go to the pub with and have a fucking pint of Guinness. That's how he is to me. Would I have a beer with anyone in the Labour Party? Probably not. No, don't like them. Tories? Maybe one or two in the Tories that I get on with. But BBC, innit? BBC are finished. They're now going to call Nigel Farage. The BBC are going to panic when Nigel becomes Prime Minister. And Nigel goes, right, we're now going to make it unlawful that you have to pay a licence to this corporation. Can't wait. Can't wait. And again, in a new poll, the happiest towns in Britain. Number 1, Skipton, North Yorkshire. Number 2, Richmond. Number 3, Woodbridge, which is about 4 miles away. I've just moved away from there. Yeah, happiest place in Britain. And do you want to know why they're happy? Do you want to know why they're happy? I'll tell you why they're happy. Because there's no fucking illegal immigrants there. And everyone can get on. No one's scared to walk down the street and use their phone. There's no people being abused in the streets. That's why they're happy. But no doubt the government will be going, let's make them unhappy. Let's send fucking boats there. Yeah, brilliant. Shameful, isn't it? Anyway, in other news, I mentioned about Thomas Markle Jr. there. Yeah. I'm sure he's stressed. When parents aren't well, you're stressed. But what else is happening in the world? Well, the Timu Royal, Henry, I'll call him. I'm going to call him Henry. It's his real name. The Timu Royal, Henry, appeared on the US chat show Stephen Colbert, didn't he? Having a little laugh and a joke. Having a little laugh and a joke. When his father-in-law was in intensive care. I'm going to be honest, ladies and gentlemen. He doesn't give a fuck, does he? He doesn't care about anyone other than himself. It's very clear. Comes across as a nice guy. Everyone can do that. Everyone can come across as a nice guy. Anyone can do it for 5 minutes. It's when you spend time with people you get to see through that shallow, broken, unrepairable attitude. It's quite sad. Imagine going around and getting awards, humanitarian awards, and watching your family fall apart, adding to the downfall of your family, spreading vicious rumours, writing things, doing interviews, and constantly using your platform to destroy someone else's life is very, very shallow. I call out everyone on here. I call out everyone. From the Prime Minister to the Chancellor, to China to Putin. I call everyone out. I don't care if you're the President of the United States or you're the King of Jordan. If you're an arse, you're an arse. I'm not saying they are arses, I'm just saying you should use your platform for good things, promote things, do something really, really nice. Now, there was a story this morning about a teacher that refused to call a boy a girl that was going through a transitioning time in that kid's life. And he was suspended from school under investigation. Now, I agree that a teacher should not take a knee and a whim just because someone says there's something and you can see they're not. So I stood firm with that teacher. I stood firm with that teacher and the fact that he wouldn't cowtail to this. But what happens next is that teacher is now going to spend Christmas in jail. Now, before you say, oh, that's shocking, it's Christmas in jail, I originally was like, that's shocking, that teacher's going to spend Christmas in jail for that, blah, 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 blah. But I read the whole story and then I looked into it before I put this out as I feel sorry for the teacher. But I'm going to be honest with you, ladies and gentlemen, I don't feel sorry for the teacher. Because the truth is, he was suspended while an investigation was underway. But the teacher couldn't fucking deal with the suspension. And the teacher trespassed back on the school a dozen times, kept going back. You can't come on school, you're suspended, stay away until the investigation concludes. Then he came back again, then he came back again, then he came back again. He was told by the headmaster, then the school board, listen, while you're on investigation, you need to stay away from the school. But then he came back again, and then he came back again. So do you know what? He is going to jail for Christmas, and it's his own fucking fault, okay? So originally, I felt sorry for him, but now I just think he's an arse. And maybe a little jail time will teach him that when you're told to do something, fucking do it. I don't always agree with the law. A lot of time I'm completely against it, the way the police behave. But how many warnings do you need? How many warnings do you need? Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to go, what am I going to do today? Oh, fuck, I need to check my diary. It's downstairs. But anyway, listen, thanks for all your support. Thanks for sticking with the channel. Prayers go out to Thomas Markle Sr. and family, extended, apart from the ones in California where I don't care about them. And have a great day, everyone, and stay safe.